Well, it looks like we got like our first of the blue or purplish passion flowers. Now this isn't the same as the maypop. These are, I guess, generally don't put out like edible fruit. So they're just now starting to bloom. I think our Lady Margaret passion flower has bloomed a few times over the last week or two. I really don't see anything right here where they're at. Oh, I see a fruit though. Up there. So that means it has flowered a little while. It's been such a hot summer and so many mosquitoes and stuff that we haven't been out here much. So we've had at least a few flowers for it to produce a fruit. Wonder if there's any more fruit dangling around here. Another day and it looks like we got 2 or 3 more like tree ripened persimmons. There's one there. I don't know if I got it on video because I'm looking straight at the sun. There's one right there, somewhere along there. I think I've seen another one that's pretty orange. Yeah, right there, 1, 2. Looks like there might be like 4. Oh, there's one up there at the top too. Wow. So, yeah, this is 3 months plus before any of them should be ripening. Persimmons. This little one here looks like it's already kind of starting to dry out. I wonder if you could dry them on their actual tree, or if they would fall, or what would happen. Maybe we should experiment with that and just leave a few up here just to see what happens. So there we go. 6 of them. I got another one. I ate it really fast. There may be 1 or 2 really up high that even with this ladder I can't get. Maybe a couple hidden up there as well. You gotta look under the tree and kind of sideways, because sometimes the leaves on this specific persimmon are bigger. I shouldn't say sometimes, all the times. The leaves are 2 or 3 times the size of these actual Seijo or Saijo persimmons. So if the leaves are hanging down over the fruit, you're not going to easily see it. I think I see one probably about 12 foot in the air. But you don't really want to wiggle it down. If it falls, it's just going to splat and go everywhere, and it's not going to be any good for anything. Most of these could be picked right now and just ripened on the counter for 2 or 3 days. But what are we going to do with this many persimmons all at once? Get diarrhea or something if you ate them all. So what does a Seijo or Saijo astringent persimmon taste like? As you can see, it's very wet, sticky, kind of syrupy almost. And the skin is kind of, I wouldn't say leathery, but it's so much harder than, the actual middle flesh. Sometimes the middle flesh is considered to be a similar consistency of pudding. Well, let's see what it tastes like. Kind of, it can melt in your mouth, or it could, there might be like certain areas that are kind of like a muscadine grape, kind of like a snot-like consistency, I guess, or oyster or something. People consider that to be turnoffs that have problems with textures. There was like no acidity to it. Very sweet, and it can be slightly watered down probably if you get like a good bunch of rain before you harvest them, just like a lot of fruits. Sometimes people don't generally like to pick figs right after rain because it waters them down. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as figs are concerned, because I like that wateriness. But in a lot of other fruits, I don't really like it. I would say I haven't had a whole lot of pawpaws, but our first Tennessee seedling pawpaw had a flavor very similar to a persimmon, but not as sweet. It was kind of like a cross between an avocado and a persimmon. And there's no like aftertaste here as long as you get it well ripe. There are tannins in these astringent ones that can pucker your mouth a little bit and stuff. So look at my hands, very wet, gooey. And there are other types of persimmons that have like a spicy, some people say brown sugar or cinnamony, taste. I haven't tasted, but maybe like four or five types of persimmons. Tananashi, giant fuyu, the Seijo, I think probably the regular fuyu, and I tasted a wild American persimmon, which I didn't really like. There are other types they call chocolate persimmons or something that can have a brown, more brown innards when they're pollinated. And I don't think any of them actually taste like chocolate or cocoa, but one of them's called like coffee cake because it's got that kind of spiciness to it. Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, whatever. But I've never tasted them, so I can't really compare them. One day, but for the most part, it's like a very syrupy, ooey gooey, just like sugar. But probably better, I compare like the white mulberries to just sugar fruit. You cut off there in a hurry. Natalie was screaming about something. The kids wouldn't go to sleep, I think. But yeah, I would say this is more complex than just like the sugary sugar water white mulberries. But there really isn't the acidity and flavor of like a pear or apple or strawberry or anything like that.